Hello, welcome back. Last time was one pretty tough puzzle and two that were not so bad. 84%. That number's suddenly going up way faster than it had been. You put me here. Okay. Had I walked all the way down here? I guess so. Alright, so that hand-looking puzzle was the last one I did, so here. That's what I'm doing. 811. Okay, so I am too long for that. You are the correct length, but not the correct orientation. How are you going to flip horizontally? Am I going to eat you all the way and then flip with this? I think that's the suggestion. That's a lofty goal. Now, do I even have enough length to theoretically do that? Yes. Okay. So somehow, once I've put my mouth all over you, then I need to get into... How is that going to happen? Okay, so first of all, I think things would be better if I flipped you vertically? Why do I think that? I don't know, I just do. No, how does that help anything? Okay, so now... Layout I want is probably going to look something like that? Could I see a way that this could make sense? Maybe I can get away with that. Okay, so the idea is I use my body to block this so that I can mouth it. I have just enough length for that, and hope I have enough length for this. I don't. I'm one short. Problem with that is that I don't have enough... Oh, there are several problems. Suppose I were to successfully do that flip. As soon as I put my mouth around that and straightened out, I was stuck. I would just end up in this hole. Okay, but that's the general idea. You do have to flip horizontally. To do that, I need you all the way down in my stomach while I suck on this thing and flip over with it. Could be facing north, could be facing south. Given the vertical symmetry mostly of this puzzle, it doesn't feel like it matters much. Though the asymmetry of this might make a difference, because that's not the same both ways. But it's unclear what kind of difference that would make yet. So if I do a flip like this, that is using up my entire tail, because there needs to be one clean section between the two for me to get to the vertical spot. And I can't get to it the long way because I don't have enough length. Like if I would try... Let's just make sure I haven't miscounted. I have not. I can't get as far as the flippable bit that way. And even if I could, the wall that allows me to mouth it would then block my roll afterwards. Okay. Now... Is the void involved? Because rolls over the void can sometimes be relevant. I don't know yet. But that might make a roll like this to the right possible. I think I can demonstrate. If I do it better. Yeah. So a roll like that. Okay, in case that's relevant. And obviously this isn't the right shape for me to just flip it vertically and have everything work. Tail, please. Yep. So, you are my flipping tool. You are my flipping target. What's a layout that makes that possible? Again, more or less what I'm gonna need. Okay, so let's try it in this orientation without flipping over, because like flipping over just doesn't do much. It might. No, that's too far out. Wait, but does putting it the other way help at all? Maybe. I mean, I can flip either one, and it amounts to the same thing. Like, if I flip this, then I don't have to bother flipping the other one. Yeah. Okay, you out of the way. Yeah, so that lets you be on land at least a little bit. For that arrangement. Problem is, suppose I successfully flipped, then the situation I would end up in would look something like this. Oh, but then I could rescue it. Okay, so that's a fix. Good. Okay, so a solve for that problem. I think that's compatible with everything still. Okay, so now. So now, how do I mouth this? There's no like weird magical tail orientation I could have. So, okay. So let's say I did something like that. Then after my mouth is all the way here, is there some manipulation I can do with like this little bit of free movement I get that could nudge you into place where I could put my mouth around you? No. No way. There definitely is not. I think? I'm having trouble imagining one. So I want to do what I'm doing, but one more to the west, and then I would be done. Problem is, I can't do what I'm doing one more to the west because I can't get my blocking kink in there. Okay, is this where the void comes in? I don't think so. Don't be so sure. Well, yes, do be sure, because the void is 3 away from this wall. So if your spoke is hanging over the void, then you're unmouthable in that position. Right? Yes? Yes. So what I'm trying to do looks like this, but is not this. It's like this, but with my tail different. But my tail can't be the way I want it. The closest I could get would be that, and that's not particularly close. Oh, okay. Here's a solution. I think this solves everything that I need. Yeah. Other than my own survival. Okay, come on now. Start the mouthing process here. And that just does it. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I'm off by 1. Okay, I think I'm done. Do that. Mouthed, flip it, mouth back, roll over to survive, get out, and we're done. Great. Okay. That was a fun little tangle to untie. Insight's just gonna start me basically like one step from mouthing the... Oh, not quite. Fences. Okay, right, so Insight includes this roll. Got it. Okay. Alright, well, I clearly did that exactly as intended. Same orientation and everything. Great! Next. 812. That's a big blob of wall. And one little... what? Okay, so I'm slicing off a chunk of myself because that thing can't turn vertical. This has the feel of a beheading puzzle, but I don't think I can make a trip that far without a head? Or without a body, rather? There's food here, though. Like, what's that about? That's why it feels like I'm cutting off my head. Because a ring going around a food would be just right over in that position for that. Is there some hypothetical rollable shape for a headless worm? And also it's just like super easy to cut off my head here. But like, I can't imagine what I could do after that point. So if I'm doing it, I'm not doing it like that. There's a lot of terrain shapes here. Like a lot of differently shaped thingies. But you know, these are big vertical gaps. How would I cross that if I were rolling on that axis? Need some kind of shape that's compatible with that, and I have a hard time imagining what that would be. So the only thing I can really do with this is slice myself. So I'm going to make a big me shape of some sort. And become too small to do much of anything. Oh, but I'm already the right size and shape to get in there, so if I... okay, this perhaps then just becomes a bridging problem. Okay, yeah, so I just need some... then what's the food for? That food there is weirding me out. Okay. I mean, I can go over here, but you will then fall. Cutting off that much of myself loses me so much mobility, but I don't think I really get a choice about it. Does seem like this is a necessary step. Okay, well let's just observe what could be done after that. All of this seems built around chopping up this thingy. Yeah. No, it doesn't. No. No. None of this is any good. No, that's not the right track at all. That clearly, very quickly dead ends. Okay. This is one of those joystick puzzles, which is a weird name for it, but you know what I mean. Is that what the food's for? Okay, so to make like a joystick in the void, I don't know why I call it that, but a little pillar I can push against to surf around. My tail would need to have been in the air at some point, and for that to happen it needs to bend on a fence, and for that to happen I need to eat. And the only thing to eat is nowhere near a fence. And I don't think I can bring the two near each other. Maybe I can manufacture food here, though. You are pretty trapped where you are. There's not a lot I can do with you. So sure, I can make different shapes like this. Okay, that gives me different types of mobility for being small. That's... what if I did this? Let's just see what this looks like. Oop, not that. This. Like, the other one dead-ended, so... oh, well, yeah. That's going nowhere good. I mean, I can also do things like this. That looks awful. Am I sure, though? Oh, no, this has some potential to it. Okay, how would this... That's an interesting shape. Okay, maybe this is what I'm doing? Is there any way I can traverse with you? Or, okay, no, there's a better shape I could make. Okay, no, I think this is it. So that, maybe? That's pretty appealing. Okay, I think it's this. I think it's this. This is me. Okay, there we go. It was beheading. It had that look. And I think this shape is the correct one already because everything just is made to work exactly with this. All right, neat, 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 neat. Cool. I did it. All right, let's make sure that's what this thinks exactly that. Cool. Got it. Well, that's cute. Just a little omnidirectional roller. It all made sense. Nice. And that's how to move around if you don't have a body. Alright, so that's it for this room. Where am I in the worm overall? About halfway. Okay. That made me curious about something. Gonna put myself here and fling. And watch carefully the right side of this puzzle. Okay, it fades out and then halfway through its fade out just disappears. I was wondering what happened to the can during the puzzle transition. 813. Okay, so only options for moves at the start seem to be that. Okay, and I remain with only one option. When do I get a choice? I think now is my first choice, so I can either do this or this. Okay. So trying to get a too wide... hang on, let me just make sure I don't have any meaningful choices before then. I think I don't. Can't really do anything here. And if I drop that, I drop myself too. Same here, can't go left, can't go any farther, can't go right. Or, yes, those are the correct directions. So basically, this is how the puzzle starts. Everything else is just setting up that precondition. I see that slicer. I see the ability to put something in. Yes, that's still true. Oh, no, it's not. I lost my mouth state. Getting longer wouldn't directly help with that. Okay, so that's not so simple as I thought. Okay, what do I want? I'm getting something over on the left. If I just keep rolling left, this is how the state of the puzzle ends up. Oh, I can't dismount this. Stuck in a non-dismountable state. Yeah, okay, so it's interesting. Like, I can't get out of here ever. This wall doesn't let me get to safety. I'm just stuck with this as my movement forever, it seems. So I can unmouth and do that and then not be able to do anything anymore. I can eat and that doesn't really seem to help me much. It lets me push horizontally a little bit. Don't know why I would care. But I can do it. Can I do something if I... Oh, I can't mouth that from here. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Somehow get something in that slot all the way down there, but like... How would that happen? So again, the amount of choices I have is very limited. I can almost just like exhaust my available moves. So here I can do this, or this, or this. Those are my three choices. This seems bad. That just puts that out of reach mostly. It can come within reach again by doing this, but I don't know why that would be beneficial. Now, here's a spot where I can mouth onto you. So what? I don't know what. Like, I don't really see how this puzzle ends, so let's try and work backward. I don't think I'm going in because I can't really escape my prison there as far as I can tell. If I can't get my tail anywhere safe, and I can't, like, put a kink in it or something, then there's just never any ground for me to stand on. Okay, so probably the goal is to free myself from that prison by cutting off my head and making a new body out of one of those pieces of food. So I need a piece of food next to the fence and the ability to stretch out my neck and slice it. Okay. That second part looks like a problem. First part does too. Neither of those seems easy. I think I can do something though if I do this and that and then one of these. I made some food near the fence. Like, there's no amount of length that would actually help me accomplish anything. I also can't actually cut off my head now. I'd have to mouth something in a spot where I don't think I can mouth. Now, okay, would there be potential to, like, get enough length to come out here, chomp on something else, roll over, and then have my body actually be on top of the safe zone on the left? I don't think there's anything that can anchor the thing I want to mouth so that that would become possible. This one's weird. So if I eat once, can't get that far enough over to reset it up, and even if I could, now my body's too long for that to work. And in fact, it always was. So my remouthing spot is here. From here I can put you over there, but I don't see what it helps. Yeah, I mostly just don't know what I'm doing here. Still just not sure what my goal is. Okay, so once again, let's look at the end of this. With a little bit of bridging, if I could slice... Okay, right, so I thought I wanted to slice off my head and get to a piece of food. I'm going to necessarily be facing north. So that would require... No, that would require me to... Oh. It requires something in my mouth that I don't think I can have in my mouth. So ignoring the food for a moment. I guess I can't ignore the food. Alright, getting the food just out of here. bridge. Thing to north of fence. So if I could mouth it now and roll left, I wouldn't really have accomplished a whole lot, but or would I have? So I'd have a half-fat sausage down here, and then just not a lot I could do with it. I'm too short to cross over, like, this little gap now. Even if I could be free of the burden in my stomach. So I could do that. And I don't really see how it's of interest. I can get longer, and I don't see how that's of interest. I can mouth back onto this, which starts to look something resembling promising, but I can't roll left now. And then that's not in slicing range. I can bridge over, but I can't get over. I could eat. And I don't see why I'd want to. Like, again, no amount of length helps me, and one more would start making it impossible to back up. I'm gonna just eat everything because I don't know what else to do. There, I ate everything. Now I really can't do anything. Okay, what? Where is the potential to actually do something useful? Am I focusing on the wrong part of the puzzle? Like, what should I be looking at here? The end? So what's going in the end? Me? There's no way I'm going to get enough... Okay, so let's count. So imagine... Right, I'm going to do the window thing. That it didn't do. Right, oh, this game doesn't recognize the universal screen, full screen toggle shortcut. So I have to do it the slow way. I can resize my window and get something resembling full screen here. I also can't press start to get out of that menu. Got a few interface problems with this game, but that's well documented at this point. So, okay. Hypothetically, let's say I still had a burden right here. And I wanted to push something all the way in here that was not part of me. So like one of you. Let's just measure the distance and see if I can disprove this early. So this would have to occupy this space. So therefore head, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 body segments total. I currently have 1, 2, 3. I can get up to 4, 5. Slice something 6, 7. Okay, well that doesn't disprove it. But the only thing that remains is you and the thing I've already eaten. If you're the one who's going in and the thing I've already eaten is going nowhere, then there's nothing left to make a bridge there. And there's definitely no way that can get over that far. Okay, so I think that disproves it. Okay, so where do I go from there? That means I'm getting free of the thing I ate at the start. Only way that could happen is if I cut off my body. That includes this in the stomach. But that's where I run into problems, because to cut off my body, I need something rolling that's north enough to have my head north of this slicer. And there are no walls north of this. And with no walls north of that, I can't put my mouth around something whose end includes a section that's north of the fence. So, the answer must be something else. Now, I get access to a south wall. Let's go back to the idea of mouthing something to the south and turning that into a... okay, so that would mean... Yoy, what would it mean? Impossible things. And even if I could do those impossible things, it still wouldn't help me. Let's put this one more to the left. Oh, one more. Eat that, slice this, and eat it. All the way. Then... like, I do note that this is like exactly as much length as I have allocated back here, and maybe that's meaningful. Maybe I'm not so far off track as I thought. No, this has potential. If I were in a different spot with it? I don't know that this has potential, but maybe... got like a weird mechanism going on here. Is something happening? Not anymore, because now I can't mouth onto that anymore. Right? You can't just pull it with me. Like, moving that's a little more complicated. But, okay, so that's the best I can do with that kind of motion. It's just not very good for me. None of this seems to buy me anything of use. Does a different shape here do something that I like? How could it? It couldn't. Ah, but does this put me in range of using the slicer somehow? So if I protrude to the north enough to get in slicer range, then mouth something to the south to actually use the slicer. See, now that I'm thinking about that, that makes the other wall more appealing. It doesn't have a floor under it, but, I mean, that can be arranged potentially. You think so? I mean, kinda, but no. No, can't reach anything. Not enough food. Two things in the pit when I'd rather have one, and even if it was just one, still nothing. Although, if that thing there were one more south, right now in this puzzle state, I think I might be done. Because I could, like, get this stone in my stomach over on the left, and it could become the thing that goes in the goal, because I'd be able to slither out and probably get around it? Would I be too short for that? Okay, this has potential. So, what if I were to imagine that my first action is that? Maybe not quite exactly that, something a little bit different. Maybe this? To maintain your mouth ability. Problem is, now I can't reach the other food to get any longer. And I do need to be longer for this to work, don't I? Oh. Like, that whole thing hinges on me being able to get something against this wall to my left and get my mouth around it, which requires me to eat a bunch of stuff. I can't reach you to get any longer. I don't think I can do much about that, can I? Once I unmouth there, my potential for reaching any food that's not this disappears. So that has to be the first food I eat if I eat any food. And without eating food, I don't think anything's happening. Another idea. Oh, different shape. Hold on. There might be another thing that's compatible with this that's actually a lot easier to pull off. That sort of thing sounds appealing to me. What about this? There we go. That's everything, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Okay. I think I did it. Okay. I do die if I do that, but I can make it around. Okay. That was it. Just wasn't sure what of the many maybe possibilities was going to be the one. Yeah, so you just start me with that offset. Okay, got it. All right. Had a lot of ideas, but only one of them had any legs. I have lots of those. Count them. I'm not going to. It's too many to count. It depends on how many segments I have. All right, cool. That was fun, and I had to really contort my brain a little bit to figure it out. Look at this nightmare. Oh, I'm glad I'm stopping before this puzzle because this looks like a full-day project. It's probably not as bad as it looks, but wow, this looks like a full-day project to me.